Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest chapter 243 of Akatsuki no Yona, also known as Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn, chapter 243, live reaction, of course, for this one. This is a chapter that is going to go down, assuming this was not a red herring cliffhanger at the end of 242, this is going to be the chapter we are going to be discussing for many months to come. Everyone has been so stoked and excited for the finally a conversation between soo-won and Hawk. Before we get right underway with the live reaction, of course, and I'm hoping this isn't a red herring, I'm hoping this chapter is everything we wanted it to be. Don't pull the rug out from under us sort of idea. I just want to say thank you very much for everyone's understanding this week. Ever since Sunday night, you might have noticed there's been basically no content on the channel due to wildfire situation. You know, we were sort of weighted with bags packed and insurance policies pulled out with bated breath all week. Very dry week. The fire was very close. Thankfully, I never did have to evacuate, but I just want to say thank you very much to all the understanding and appreciate all you guys for, hoping that the situation is under control. It's much more under control now. We've had rain all weekend, so I can finally get back to focusing on YouTube and getting all that content that I missed all week out to you guys here today. And what better way to start than with the chapter we have been waiting for. Let's waste no more time and just get right underway with it. So chapter 243, The Night We Parted Ways, and it looks like, and just that title alone tells me this isn't a red herring. There is no false alarm. This is going to be the chapter, The Night We Parted Ways. Hawk and soo-won finally, okay, and right here on the cover page, his old friend like he has never seen before. There's Hawk and soo-won. It's going to be, make it the whole chapter. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want Yona involved with this one. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Personally, I think this needs to be a private moment. These two probably have one of the best, if not the best, relationship in the whole manga. They need a private moment to themselves without a third wheel. I don't care which character it is, and Yona is, of course, very important, and I love Yona as a character, but this needs to be just these two talking. It needs to involve just those two, so hopefully that ends up being the case here. Okay, so first page. We have, after the cover page, okay, so Hawk is staring down at soo-won, and soo-won is sweating and everything like that. We know he's in a bit of a bad way right now. And then Throb, alright, so Crimson Dragon illness is obviously rearing its ugly head. Now, where was he going in the middle of the night, sort of idea? So Hawk's wondering what the hell's going on, and soo-won's pulling his, grabbing his head, pulling the cloak over. Hawk is just looking down at him, and his eyes are looking kind of menacing this whole time. It's shock, it's a bit of anger, a bit of, like I don't like that look in Hawk's eyes. Some of those old feelings from like the first couple arcs are rearing their ugly head. This is Hawk in danger mode. This is Hawk, yeah, I don't know. Hey, someone's gonna snap him out of it. This is probably a good thing. Is the guy crouched there all right? Oh, it's just a foot soldier, and soo-won's panting. If he's wounded, we'll take him to a doctor. And Hawk looks behind, and they start walking forward. What's he do? Oh, he's gonna lie for him. He's just a drunkard. You don't have to deal with him. Oh, and then they start walking away. Oh, so Hawk lied for him. All right, thankfully that guard showed up, though, because Hawk had that look in his eye. I don't like... If he was finally going to have the chance to, like he's been wanting to do for such a long time, some of those old feelings clearly were up there, seeing him in such a bad way, in a bad state. I think that sort of broke the conscience, snapped him out of it, sort of idea. Let's see. So that's it. Let's go. Okay, some people are really easy going. All right, so they're going to walk away. Now Hawk is back to his normal self. He lied for him, though. He lied for him. And then he looks down and, soo-won has gotten up and started walking away. Oh, it's going to happen. Too many people pass through here, says soo-won. Come. Oh, he's not walking away from Hawk. He's like, follow me sort of idea. Okay, so it's about damn time these two will finally sit down and have a conversation. And yes, just going to some outskirts building, looks like a shed or a barn house or something like that. just so they can talk in private without being disturbed. That was the key thing that I mentioned. I don't want their conversation interrupted. I don't want a third wheel. I don't want more people with their opinions. Let's go. Okay, so soo-won's still feeling the effects. He's slumped against the wall. Hawk is just waiting patiently to see what he's got to say. And then, is the senjutsu ineffective? And then soo-won is a little shocked by this. But that's true too. We haven't actually seen soo-won affected really by the Crimson Dragon illness for a long time. This is the first time since. The senjutsu, of course, was never meant to cure it. But has he been taking it? Has Yon figured it out and stuff? This is a good question. No. Oh, it's not ineffective. At least I haven't had any fits in a while thanks to it. So it has slowed down the disease, or at least prevented the symptoms like this from rearing their ugly head up until today. Okay, so maybe this could also be one of those illnesses that, like in real life, that stress and anxiety induce the fit, induce the symptoms. Or they're a contributing factor to them. And because of his poor decision making and the morale and all the stuff that happened last chapter, it would make sense that the senjutsu was working up to a point, and now he's struggling, mentally and physically, and it becomes too much. It's a possibility anyways. So let's see. Hawk just listens. Thank you very much. Yeah, because he's the one who delivered it. Remember, soo-won had that awesome ass monologue to realize he can't be like his father. He can't treat Hawk like a chess piece on a board. He's too important. He's too valuable to him. He loves this man. Same with Yona. He recognized that, and that's when Hawk fought tooth and nail to get back the senjutsu and just here, boom, just slumped. So I believe the thank you is for that, not thanking him, like asking him, like, hey, how you doing, man? It's more of a thank you for the senjutsu, if anything else. So, but this is not an illness that can be cured. Doesn't Hawk know about it, though? I for some reason, all of a sudden, I'm sitting here going, I don't think Hawk actually knows about the extent of the Crimson Dragon illness. Or wait, didn't he found out about it through Mei Nian, though, I thought. Anyways, is what it is. So he's a little shocked by this. Let's see. And he's resting. I have something I need to tell you. Okay, let's go. Soo-won says, please go search for Zeno and the others with Princess Yona. Hawk is shocked. Hawk was going to go do it anyways. But, what? Apparently Advisor Kisok has sent a search party, but when it comes to the Dragon Warriors, isn't Princess Yona the better choice? 100%. 100%. I will tell everyone that you will reunite with us later. Okay, so soo-won is, alright, making the good decisions. Hawk's a little shocked by this. Is that your order as the king? Alright, Hawk's playing the wall right now. Soo-won's probably admitted that he's got to let that wall down. That wall has finally crumbled. Hawk still has this reservation. He's still got this, this wall up right now. Is that your order as the king? I am well aware that I am not your king. Alright, so we're finally gonna... Okay, alright, we're finally gonna get into this. I am well aware that I am not your king. Alright, yeah, let's go. Alright, so, once again, all the shocked expressions by Hawk, and he clenches his fist. Why are you asking me instead of the princess? Alright. Going out of your way to bring me here. So did Soo-won actually actively go look for Hawk? And was that his intention? Is that why he's out? To a place where I could take my revenge without anyone knowing. Oh, that's his thought. That's his thought, though. I don't think he says that. He said, going out of your way to bring me here. And then Hawk thinks, to a place where I could take my revenge without anyone knowing. Soo-won probably also knows this. Remember, he stood there, and had Hawk been able to get a hold of him at that time, at that port city, yeah, it would have been over. So, alright, so the level of trust, he's telling the princess this, like he's trusting himself to be alone with Hawk, and Hawk's trying to wrap his brain around this one. Soo-won, I don't have much time left. Oh, is he finally going to tell him the truth? Soo-won is going to freely admit to Hawk everything? Okay, so Hawk is shocked by this. So I don't think Hawk is aware of the Crimson Dragon illness. For some reason, I thought he was. Like, he knows he needs to send Juzo and stuff, so I thought he knew. But maybe he didn't know the full extent. Anyways. Alright, so shocked and sweaty soo-won. Alright. Moving on. My affliction is called the Crimson Illness. It's an incurable... Alright, so he's just going to give him the lowdown. At this point, Hawk is going to know about this. My affliction is called the Crimson Illness. It's an incurable illness only contracted by the descendants of King Hiryu. Descendants of King Hiryu? Yonhee, my mother, was one of these descendants. Alright. So he's just going to lay it all down. Hold on, what's this about? So Hawk is like, descendants, King Hiryu. Hold on, what's going on here? So while Soo-won's talking, he's still processing all this. Currently, those who know are Mei-Nian, who shares the same illness, Min-so, who is my family physician, my bodyguard, Hyo-ri, Advisor Ki-sok, the Dragon Warriors, and Princess Yona. And wouldn't Yon... I think Yon... Well, no, Min-so knows, not Yon, so yeah. Actually, that's a pretty extensive list when you think about it. General Jodo and Sir Yon know that I am ill. But I don't think they know about me being a descendant of King Hiryu. Okay, so they know about the illness, yes, of course. So in the same way that Hawk knew that the Senjutsu was for Soo-won because he's ill, he didn't know the extent of it, I guess. That must be what I'm misremembering. A little bit of that Mandela effect. Zeno told me that those with the Crimson Illness have a similarly short lifespan to that of the other 3 dragons. What are you talking about, says Hawk. You didn't know that aside from Zeno, they all have a short lifespan? Oh, I don't... Yeah, Hawk didn't know that. Yeah, Hawk actually did not know that. And now, oh, that's widened his eyes pretty good. Okay. I've actually seen something else besides Hiryu Castle, Yona. Oh, right. jae-ha and the others, Soo-won and Mei-Nian, inside coffins. That's right, the vision, the dream, which once again, I don't like that's sort of rearing its ugly head after, 200 chapters plus, but yeah, either way, okay, so all of them, in coffins, the dragon illness. Basically, in a way, the dragons also have the Crimson Illness. It's almost like 2 variants, both of them causing the same problems. In the fact that the dragons aren't descendants of King Hiryu, so their version is more they get the powers, but the short lifespan. And in the same sense, and they get the senses and stuff. Soo-won and Mei-Nian being direct descendants of King Hiryu, they basically get the worst of the 2 versions. They get the version that causes the disease to spread, the headaches, the fits, all that stuff, and the short lifespan to boot. None of the powers. So, though you could also call the powers a curse outside of the city and stuff, because a lot of people, were very fearful of the dragons in certain areas. Kija was raised where it was, honor bound and stuff like that. But like, look at Shina, always feared to death, right? So there's that too. So let's see. Hawk's gonna say. So we're getting the lowdown part first. Now I'm feeling like this conversation is going to extend into chapter 244, because now we're catching Hawk up to speed on things that he's only partially aware of. The ones inside the coffins were the ones with a short lifespan, Hawk's realizing that. This is apparently the price for those who possess blood with supernatural powers. For instance, the price for those with supernatural powers. So Soo-won, is this implying that Mei-Nian and Soo-won do have powers? And he was about to say, but then throb, his headache's coming back. Let's see, so... For instance, let's see. Even if I make my own child my successor. That was a weird transition, but okay. So we see this shot of a dragon sort of swirling around Soo-won as he's explaining all this, and Hawk just listening. Even if I make my own child my successor, they might contract the Crimson Illness. And even if they were to be exempted from it, I wouldn't have the time to educate them to be king. That's why I've always searched for one, a successor. Hawk, I have made my decision. After my death, Yona will be the next ruler of Koka Kingdom. I mean... Okay, so... soo-won making some good, rational choices here. And it's gonna be one of those... You know, Hawk's eyes are just bulging out of his head right now. This is one of those decisions where... Yona wasn't fit to be ruler in chapter 1. She's only fit to be ruler now because of the tragedy she went through. If this was sort of soo-won's chess master play the whole time, as cruel as it might be, it's almost necessary. It's one of those lesser of two evils. Like, he willingly chose to be the enemy, chose to be the monster, to all for the sake of the kingdom in a way. I don't know if that's how far back he's talking about this, but I don't know if that was his intention, to turn Yona into the proper ruler that she obviously can become now, or if that's just sort of circumstances allowed the tragedy to be turned into a success story in a way. Either way, Hawk is going to lose his shit about this. He's probably going to be like... Because, once again, I do agree that Yona would never... Being pampered and keeping the status quo from Chapter 1, Yona never would have been a good ruler for Koka Kingdom in that regard. She never would have been. She might not have been a horrible ruler. She wouldn't have been a great ruler. Like she will be in the future. The thing is here is that Hawk, that makes sense. Hawk is still going to argue that point, though. Hawk's going to be like, if you were going to hand the fucking keys to the kingdom over to her anyways, why make her go through all this shit? Why murder her father? Why do this? Why do that? Hawk is going to be livid about this. I guarantee you. It'd be weird if he's not. It'll be extremely weird if he's not. Okay, now we just got a full page shot of Hawk just like completely like out of it. Just shot, just like... What? Like, seriously, that is Hawk's expression right now is just... What? Like, Hawk is gonna lose his mind here. Hawk is gonna lose his shit. I'm telling you right now. He's not gonna be a happy camper about this whatsoever. Let's see. Are you kidding me? Yep, here it comes. The anger's about to come out. Soo-won, if you wanted him to kill you, this is how you get to him. Are you kidding me? Now, after everything, what the hell are you even saying? After you murdered King Il and tried to do the same to the princess, after stealing the throne, you want to make her the next ruler? Yeah, when it's put like that, it does not sound good. Even if, once again, Yona's only a good ruler because she went through that. That's still not a good excuse. That's future. Unless, wait a minute. He just mentioned something about he has supernatural powers. I wonder if he has visionary abilities. And he knew he had to do this to make Yona the proper ruler that she now can become. I'm curious if that is his supernatural power. See, that I don't mind. I don't really mind that one. But that being said, I don't know. That seems like a bit of a pipe dream. That's like way into the future, you know. Or maybe he talked to Yon's dude there. What's his name? Ilso or whatever. The priest who made the prophecy. The 4 dragons and the sword and the shield and all that stuff, right? Maybe he knew about that, so he sort of turned fate. Man, there's so much possibility with this. There's so much potential here. They have many avenues, many paths they can go on. This isn't just one fork in the road, like they either do A or B. No. This is the whole damn alphabet, depending on how this is gonna go. Then that means that since the beginning, if you had married the princess, you could have handed her your political power. Which, once again, she wasn't ready, but oh no. couldn't that have been the best solution without anyone getting hurt? I mean, true. Soo-won says, it wouldn't have worked with how Yona used to be, and King Il would never have wanted me to be with Yona. I mean, both of these statements are true. Soo-won is basically doing what I'm saying. Doesn't make it right, but Soo-won is suggesting he did all of this to mold Yona into the perfect ruler. You know? And it did work, but the method isn't always the method to the madness. The ends sometimes don't justify the means. You know, that's the saying. That's what I've been looking for this whole damn time. The ends don't justify the means. So even if the end result works out, the means to get there, that was almost like... I don't know if there would have been another way, though, to snap Yona out of the spoiled, bratty princess that she was, hair, nails, clothes, shoes, into this fierce, you know, warrior woman with the heart of gold and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff's all there buried deep down, but you need experience. Experiences shape that side of you, and without experiencing them, it's impossible. Even if they're, you know, the measure of a man, for example, you can't just say, all right, this person deep down is super courageous if they've never had to prove that courage or show that bravery. And, you know, it doesn't get pulled out unless for necessity, pretty much. Necessity dictates what people, men and women, everybody, what they pull out deep inside and show who they really are. But without the necessity of doing so, it's always going to stay buried. It's always going to stay locked up because it's not required, you know. So, yeah, I mean, Hawk is just finding out about this now. We've known about this for a long time. He's obviously going to be extremely pissed off. And, you know, the rationale that Soo-won is explaining, which is good rationale, both points, is not going to get through to his head right now. So, I don't know. He's going to be pissed. Yeah, we're seeing Rage Hawk. So this was the only way for you? Oh, damn. This is where it's going to turn south. This is going to turn south really quickly. Alright, so Hawk's about to lay into Soo-won here. Let's see what he says on the next page. In the first place, you say that the princess back then wasn't good enough. But isn't it just that you couldn't see her potential? It's not that the princess couldn't do anything. She worked herself to death and made her dormant abilities her own. You chase her away, and when she comes back, you want to selfishly make her ruler now that you can use her? When will you be done toying with her? Alright. Hawk actually making a good counter argument here. Like, my argument is that without the push, you know, without the murder of Batman's parents, Bruce Wayne never becomes Batman. The murder of the parents, while tragic, has to happen for him to become the Batman. He never will without it. So, you know what I mean? That's Soo-won's method. Hawk is still making a valid argument that the motivation, the abilities, the personality, all the things that make Yona were still there. He's arguing there could have been a better way to bring them out. There could have been, without all this tragedy, all this heartbreak, all this terrible things that happened, there could have been a better way. He's not saying he knows what the better way was. He's saying that, you know, I don't like the method you chose. You know, like, we could have put our heads together sort of idea and figured out a better way. And now I'm just saying, so once you chased her away and she became your perfect little mold that you wanted, now you want to selfishly continue to use her? Will you just fucking stop? You know, like, this is actually not going the direction I thought, but it is still a good conversation. And whoa, wham, oh, he's right in his face now. He slammed his hands right against the wall and he's leaning down. Soo-won's just silently watching him. Alright, here we go. Hawk has his head bowed. Soo-won is calmly. It is exactly as you said, alright? He's not denying it. What I'm saying is terribly selfish. I didn't want to choose her either. Okay. Here we go. And now we see Yona in her... Look at her, like, with her tunic armor, with her cloak, with her hair grown back and stuff. She's looking much more like the model of a ruler than a princess. In order to not choose her, I considered many others, but every time she would show unwavering conviction and unifying power. Alright, so he's claiming he tried. Decisiveness, leadership, wisdom, popularity. In the end, she was the only one who come to mind for these vital traits. Not wrong. In fact, you could... I'm not saying that this would come out of left field. You could also make Hawk king. He might not be as good a choice or whatever, but if he was really if we're trying to spare Yona the burden of all this, then you could make Hawk king. Hawk still has the popularity. He's got the decisiveness, the leadership, the wisdom, the charisma. He's got all that. Maybe not in the same way, but in a similar method, and Yona would still be by his side supporting him. So actually, no, that doesn't really work either, because then Yona's still involved, and she's still going to be the red-haired princess, their hope, the princess of dawn, you know, and all that stuff to the people. So, yeah. Okay, let's see, and Hawk's just staring down at him. If it's her... the 4 dragons, and also you. Oh, so he's mentioning the support system around her is also good for the kingdom. You will be able to protect this country even when I'm not here. Alright, let's see. Hawk, thinking about it. I made that wish once. I wanted to show her off. I wanted to tell the bastards that chased her out of the castle, look, this is Princess Yona. She hacked off her hair and took up the sword in order to protect this country. She's the strongest person I know. Feast your eyes on our princess. Yeah, and now that's come back to bite him in the ass. Because in the first arc, it was a good wish when she picked up the bow and learned in the middle of the night constantly, and, you know, went to save Lily and was on the pirate ship, and she killed at a necessity, and she didn't shy away from battle and all this stuff. These were the things. These were the core things that Hawk was like, yeah, take a look at our princess. In retrospect now, Soo-won's saying, that's exactly what we need. That's exactly what we want. And Hawk is now admitting to himself he had that wish. Back in the first arc, we knew that as readers we wanted that for the most part, and Hawk wanted that for her. You know, and now it's come back to sort of bite him. At long last, he probably sees the princess as his equal. Why does he again make my dream come true in the worst possible way imaginable? Alright, so Hawk's doing a lot of... I like that line. Alright, so this all goes back to what I've been saying the whole time. And has been brought up in this chapter, and I'm sure most of you have reached the same conclusion. I'm not here throwing out some 4D chess crazy explanation that's like, oh my god, I never thought of it that way. No, it's pretty basic. That this all ended up what Soo-won eventually sort of wanted, what Hawk wanted for Yona. It's just that he made his dream come true in a terrible way, with the ends and the justifying of the means and stuff like that. The path he chose to get to that dream was the worst chosen path. Sort of like the whole, you know, going to the dark side of the Force. You know, it's quicker, it's easier, you get powerful more quickly because the road is easier to travel and you know you'll get to your destination. But at what cost? Right? There's been a lot of cost to get to this dream. So... okay, so this conversation did not go the way I expected at all. And I still want them to have a conversation about themselves. I want Soo-won and Hawk to talk about their feelings. I really want them to have a bromance moment here. This is all about... unfortunately, so far the conversation, while good, has been about Yona and the future, not about the why. Why, why you did this, and like, you could have told me, like we need. Hawk has the emotion here, which is great, but it's all about Yona. It's not about these two. I'm hoping chapter 244 continues the conversation, but we're gonna have to get to the end of the chapter first. So, staring down, so they're both just reaction shot, and Hawk seems to be walking away. Oh no, don't end the conversation yet. If you're gonna search for Zeno and the others, do it at dawn. Huh? Leave this place before people notice you. Take Yona with you. And he says something that we can't see. And Hawk is shocked. Turns around. And then Soo-won gets up and he leaves, and Hawk is there. Let's see, so Hawk's thinking about what he said. Are we going to find out what he said? So that for a long time to come, we can keep on walking at each other's side. When was the day I made that vow? But I'll forget it now. I will not remember it anymore. There is no going back to the childhood memories when I thought we were walking in the same direction. And it shows Soo-won and... Alright, that's a cool shot at the end here. That's the end of the chapter. Okay, Alright, so what did Soo-won say there at the end that made Hawk shocked? What did he say there at the end to make him shocked? And now he's thinking about the fact that when was the day I made the vow that you and I would like walk together, for a long time. And now Hawk is like defeated about it. So if I'm reading into this correctly, Hawk is basically saying that he's not going to follow along with Soo-won. Like he's gone deeper into distancing himself from Soo-won at this point. He's saying, when the day I made the vow, but I'll forget it for now. I will not remember it anymore. That seems like 5 stages of grief. He's going through the denial stage right now, sort of idea, because he can't cope with what's going on. I don't know if that's what's happening here. But okay, so I'm gonna be honest with all of you. Since we're already like 30 minutes into this reaction anyways, I knew it would be a long one. I don't think I like, or I'm as excited about this. Yeah, I'm gonna be frank. On an initial reaction, that what they discussed is fine, and there's nothing wrong with the actual chapter, but the hype around this conversation, did it live up to your expectations? That's my question, because I'm gonna be frank, it did not live up to mine. The conversation was supposed to be about them, not about the future and not about Yona. Then that's all this conversation was about. These two still have never actually talked. They haven't talked. Hawk hasn't brought up, I said I would be there for you. I said I would do this, blah, blah, blah. They didn't talk about what they are to each other, what they meant to be together, his disappointment. He's defending Yona, not himself, and his own feelings. Soo-won's not talking about his own regrets regarding this. This is what we needed, is Soo-won to lay it all out like I didn't want to do this, I had to do it or something like that, trying to justify it. And to Hawk shout at him like, you had me, you had her, we could have, there was a better way to do this and stuff. They needed to get down to the nitty gritty, and I feel like they didn't. So my expectations for this conversation I've been waiting for years, I'm not mad at the chapter, but I am disappointed, because now chapter 244, Soo-won left, Hawk, they both left the hut, their conversation, and then they're going to go off on an adventure. So now Hawk and Soo-won have had the conversation, but it wasn't the right conversation as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'm actually... Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and maybe I had too much expectations, but I think a lot of us had quite a few expectations for this conversation, and the direction it took, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a fan. Once again, the chapter was fine. What they discussed is fine, but if they were going to discuss all this stuff, they should have made the conversation last another whole chapter, and then we get into more, because... Not that I needed to see crocodile man tears at either of them or anything like that, but we needed an Anakin Obi-Wan conversation from episode 3. We needed that bromance conversation. You know, the whole, you know, you're my brother, I loved you. You know, all this stuff. We needed them to talk about each other, not about everything else but, you know. Because at no point did soo-won apologize or acknowledge Hawk in any way, and Hawk never really spoke about any of his desires, or like everything that he should have been saying was monologued in his mind, and none of it came out of his mouth to soo-won. They never talked about it. It was just, so here's what the Crimson Dragon illness is. I have superpowers apparently, though I didn't mention what they exactly are. I'm making Yona the next ruler. Let's talk all about how you hate the fact that I'm making Yona the next ruler. Go get the dragons. I'm sending you out on a mission. Have fun. I'm dying. See ya. Basically everything we already knew, and it was just a recap for the readers, basically though catching Hawk up to speed on what the readers already know. Yeah. This is not what I was hyped for. This is definitely not what I was hyped for. So yeah, I think my opinion on the chapter is going to change over time. But this is my first read of it, and disappointment. A lot of disappointment. Just waiting for them to get into it, and they never did. And yeah. And it doesn't look like they're going to have another conversation or continue this one anytime soon. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought though down in the comment section down below. You know, because this is the end of the reaction, but I can't say I hate the chapter. Nothing wrong with the chapter, and the pacing and everything was fine, but it's not what I wanted, and I don't think it's what a lot of people wanted from this big moment that we've been waiting for so damn long. Hell, the conversation they had, knowing they were talking to each other between the walls of the slave fortress, was more meaningful to their relationship than this one. That's the problem. This didn't do anything for their relationship by trying to mend it or fix it. If anything, it went backwards. It didn't do anything for soo-won, and it went backwards instead of forwards for Hawk. For all the things he's been doing, getting the Senjutsu and defending him against attacks and all this stuff. If anything, all this conversation did was put Hawk backwards, not forwards, in regards to soo-won, and soo-won is still in the same place he was before. You know, so I think they done goofed. I think they sort of screwed this up, in my opinion. But anyways, that's chapter 243. Not the best note to end on, but I'm back, and yeah. Man, that's too bad. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz as always, and we will see you guys back here next time for Yona of the Dawn, chapter 244. Yeah, I don't think the outro does not deserve the terrible monotone singing of Yona of the Dawn title. Nope. Too disappointed by that one. But hopefully chapter 244 is a lot better, you know, in regards to things happening and stuff like that, I guess, or just not subverting our expectations to complete. In fact, at this point, I would have rathered it just they had slipped the carpet out from under us and red herringed us, and the conversation never happened. You know, at this point, because you know that. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm disliking it. So I'm just going to end it here. As I already said, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys back here next time for Chapter 244 of Yona of the Dawn. Thank you guys so much for watching. And once again, shout out to everyone who, you know, understood why there was no content this week due to the wildfires where I live. But thank you very much for all those well wishes, and we'll see you back here next time. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.